Welcome back to the Purple Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Ben.
And I'm Rick.
And it's that time of the week when Rick and I sit down to go through the headlines.
In the current media landscape, everything is printed in red or blue. Ben and I try to find the purple area between the lines.
We ask questions, apply logic, and discover what stories were written by the headline heroes.
Just like the news, we're not always right and we don't always agree, but we always look for some sort of common ground.
Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment or send an article you'd like us to discuss over at purplepoliticspodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or at Rick and Ben on Twitter. All right, so who's the headline hero this week, Rick?
Oh, well, I'm going to say, there's a whole bunch of headline heroes.
Yeah, but this one's close to home, so I'll let you do it.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Ben, you got a little headline hero-ish last week and stepped in a pothole. So.
I sure did, and I got called out, and I'm going to correct it. So last week, on the way over to the podcast, I heard on the radio that Netflix paid Ocasio-Cortez, $10 million
it was
for
something
a documentary.
Crazy, yeah.
They did pay $10 million, just Ocasio's not going to see a dime of that. it's for a documentary that's already been made. So I'm going to apologize right here. Didn't look that one up. And then later on in the episode, I bitched about people doing exactly what I just did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what? It's easy to get caught up. It really is because you have so much information coming in from so many sources, and it's almost like shit is fact-checked after the story breaks. And a prime example, our friend there that got allegedly attacked in Chicago, I mean, look at the media circus on that.
Oh, yeah.
And now everybody's dead silent, because everybody stepped in a pothole. So you know what happens to the best of us.
That does. We'll talk a little bit more about him a little bit later.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But, this week we're looking at the new Green Deal, number one. New Green Deal and Amazon are going to be our main topics this week. So what is the new Green Deal? So if you look at Politico or PolitiFact.com, they talk about the emissions section of it. So they want to eliminate pollution and greenhouse gas emissions as much as technologically possible. Now, that's what it says in the finalized form. It's been discussed. This is a watered down version of what they wanted. But this is and it's good because that means they thought about what the other side is willing to take and would like to take. So I like that idea because they've thought about it. 2, building or upgrading to energy efficient, distributed, and smart power grids, and ensuring affordable access to electricity. I can get behind that too.
Yeah, because electric bills and gas bills are through the friggin' roof.
Crazy. I looked at mine the other week. Usually my wife pays the bills because I'm out of town all week, and I just happened to see it, and I go, how long has it been like this? And she's like, all year.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I better get another job.
It's a mortgage payment for some people.
So, working collaboratively with farmers and ranchers in the United States to remove pollution and greenhouse gas emissions from the agricultural sector as much as it is technologically feasible. Now, here, a lot of the people on the right are like, they want to destroy farmers. Liberals hate farmers. Well, I've got some news for you. These aren't the farmers you're thinking about. This isn't your Uncle Bob up the road who has a cow farm,
right?
Sells a little milk or horse farm.
Or a pig farm,
or
even.
Or a pig farm. We got fainting goat farms around here.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
It's funny, you drive by, beep the horn, they all faint and tip over. It's hysterical.
Those poor things. That's like a safety mechanism for them.
Yeah.
But...
that's why they're unconscious when they're the prey of something that attacks them. They'll remember nothing.
So... they're talking about the farms that have 17,000 cattle in a couple of acres.
Yeah. Downstate, there are some very big farms where they have hundreds.
I pick up eggs
head.
from chicken farms. I've gone inside when they're loading my truck. It is just disturbing.
Yeah,
like the stuff that goes on. So. I can get behind this because I'll admit it, I eat meat, but I also think we eat too much meat. B, we waste too much meat. So a lot of these cattle that are causing the emissions, which we'll get into the farting cow thing later, but it is real. This is, you can do the research. There is facts behind this. The cows, even people. There's so many people in the world. We're just creating just flatulence.
Yeah, it happens.
But
pigs, cows, they all contribute to it.
I can totally get behind this. We need to fix this sector, get something more realistic behind it. Water. They want to guarantee universal access to clean water. Absolutely agree. The world is mostly water. Why is it so hard to get clean water?
Well, fresh water is very difficult to come by.
Because we've polluted most of it.
Oh, absolutely.
And we don't live where the water is. Is that Sam Kinison has that famous line?
Yeah. He's like, you're in the middle of the desert. Move over here. Yeah. I mean, it was part of his act, but it had a point.
It's true. But no, I 100% agree with that. On infrastructure.
Infrastructure is where you build babies. It's like Build-A-Bear at the mall.
I knew something was coming from
Yeah,
that.
but we're gonna skip past that because it really doesn't go with the segment. So we'll move on to infrastructure.
Yeah.
Infrastructure instead.
See, you can't even say it now that I said
Too many beers.
Not even one. All right, building resiliency against climate change related disasters such as extreme weather.
Is that real?
I think it is. I think that a lot of the weather has changed. And it's due to climate change.
Absolutely. The weather is volatile.
Now, here's my argument.
End of days.
And I've gotten into arguments. I've been Twittered a lot this week, but I got into an argument the other day with somebody. He was complaining about how all the right dismiss climate change.
That's not true.
They don't. And I'll throw up a graph on our webpage later. For the most part, we all believe. There's only slim amounts, and even on the left, there's a slim amount on the left that doesn't believe in climate change. But we all believe in climate change. We just don't believe that the same things are causing it.
Right.
Or that only, because I think the right sees the left saying that only humans cause it, which is absolutely not true.
Yeah, no.
Climate change is happening.
Right.
We may be making it go faster.
Yeah, we've accelerated. We've helped accelerate the process, but climate change also takes place naturally. The world cycles. You can go back and look at weather patterns throughout the years since they've been tracking it. You can look highs and lows, record highs, record lows. And I chuckle because I was thinking about the tweet where somebody had tweeted, and I won't name our furry friend. I want to say global warming is not real because temperatures were 30 below. So, please, understand that global warming doesn't mean everybody gets hot weather. You know
what, though? It's also been 50 in February. So
yeah.
If you're going to do with the 30 below bullshit,
yeah,
you got to acknowledge that it's been 50 in February.
Yeah.
In Syracuse.
Yeah. It makes weather volatile. What happens is the polar ice caps melt. Then the next thing you have is the currents and the oceans.
Yep.
They warm up even by a degree. That changes weather patterns. It can create dryness, wetness.
It changes the coral reefs, which changes where the animals can live.
Yeah.
There is climate change. We are causing a lot of it.
Yeah. And if this isn't proof that we're all connected and we affect each other, meaning humans, plants, animals, I think you really need to go back to school and maybe get educated.
I agree. So next on the list is upgrading all existing buildings in the United States and building new buildings to achieve maximum energy efficiency, water efficiency, safety, affordability, comfort, and durability, including through electrification.
Yeah, because they have to be comfortable buildings. There's nothing worse than being in an uncomfortable building.
Well, we're about to get into how the new Green Deal had shifted from an energy and a global warming thing to a socialism thing.
Yeah.
But first, let me talk about this upgrading all existing buildings, because I have a problem with this, because what happens is you take the government says, all right, now you have to upgrade your home. They have to upgrade their home.
Who pays for it?
Exactly. So in Australia, Prime Minister Kevin Rudd in 2009, they wanted to support, jobs and set Australia up for low carbon future, and they will install free insulation in around 2.7 million homes. So people get like a rebate.
Yeah, there's a
government rebate.
There's a program here in Syracuse area that helps with windows and siding and.
But what happened here
like that.
is there was only 250 registered installation businesses in Australia when the package was announced. That number jumped to 7,000 because the government was handing out free money.
Yeah.
These people, including pizza delivery guys, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a pizza delivery guy having a side business, but they were showing up with a pizza and going, hey, I'll come back tomorrow and install your installation. Then they'd come back and like spray foam part of a wall, charge them the $7,000 or whatever it was, and these people wouldn't have insulated homes. So there was all these shoddy jobs. Nearly 100 houses caught fire. Now, not only this, and I don't have the notes on it, it was in Glenn Beck's Addicted to Outrage book, somewhere in Europe. I don't want to say the country that I'm thinking of because I don't want to be the headline hero again next week.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But this happened with solar power. All these people were told that they had to upgrade to solar power. And then they did. And the government made them pay for it. They're paying over time. So it's coming out of their taxes or whatever, but they have to pay for it.
Yeah, because we need higher taxes.
Well, the solar panels didn't work properly. Some of them have failed to work since then, and they're still paying for them and can't fix them.
That's crazy.
So because of these programs, this is what happens when we do stuff like this. Some of these programs come in, and yay, we think we're doing it for people, which we are, but because it's a government program and it's going to be done shoddily.
Well, yeah, you can't overregulate either. But here's a perfect example when you're talking about solar panels, and this blows my mind. I have family that lives in Florida, and obviously so do you.
I know where you're going with this, I think.
Yeah, you would think the Sunshine State would be a perfect place to really get on board with solar energy. No, you can be fined. Or
yeah, because the electric companies
have lobbied so hard
Yep.
that there's fines in place when it comes to solar. Now, I don't want to get into the exact details of the program because I don't have the notes in front of me and I wasn't prepared to talk about it. But I encourage you just to do a little research on your own.
It was a big
It was
set of articles for a while.
outrageous. It was outrageous. Now, if this doesn't tell you how bad lobbyists can be, everybody wants,
But it's just going to switch it from the electrical companies to the solar power companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what we're saying is good ideas, but the reality of the situation is you cannot implement them. We can't afford it. And just down to where we're not even into going beyond climate change in the bill. Because we're about to get into beyond climate change.
Yeah.
But just up to here, how do you suppose we pay for it? We already don't want to pay more taxes, yet you want us to pay more taxes to fund these things.
Well, in New York, we pay we're like the highest, if not almost the highest in property tax alone. Now, because of the SALT program by the federal government, we're cut off on what we can claim as far as taxes in New York. So that's been taken away. So how much does somebody have to pay in taxes? Because I already know what they're going to say. Well, we're going to go ahead and implement it, and we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna raise your taxes.
That's exactly what they're gonna do.
No, thank you.
I agree.
You know what? My taxes are so high. If I had just normal taxes, I could take that savings. I could pay off a car. I could buy a second house.
Yep.
That's how much my taxes are.
Yeah. No, I know.
And
I just did my personal taxes. So continuing.
Yeah. My day's ruined.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, just a side note, I went to my my tax woman this morning. I had my son drive me. I almost said his name on the program because I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
And when I was signing the paper, she was apologizing for me getting less. I'm like, it's not your fault. She's like, oh.
No, but didn't they say that you get more in your paycheck though? I mean, the kind of the same money still there.
Kind of feels like I am, so.
Yeah, so you're getting a little more in take home. So your returns.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it, but I know people bank on these returns, which is never how you do it. You never do it that way.
Listen, it's not a savings account. You're making a deal with the devil if that's how you do it. But for me, unfortunately, I pay. So hopefully, I pay about 8% less.
So before I start this next segment, I just want to point out that even when all this stuff is said and done and it's signed and whatever, it's not a law. It's kind of like an agreement of how we're gonna proceed.
Oh, it's kind of like NAFTA or the agreement we had with Iran.
Yeah.
We just back out at any time.
We could just back out.
Yeah,
but
all right.
what I'm just saying is the stuff that we're talking about, we're not worried about it becoming law and stuff right now. But this is where they're going with it. So this is the new Green Deal. This is supposed to be for climate, global warming, saving the planet. Then they put in all these social matters.
Oh, God.
So to promote justice and equity by stopping current, preventing future, and repairing historic oppression of indigenous peoples, communities of color, migrant communities, deindustrialized communities, depopulated rural communities, the poor, low-income workers, women, the elderly, the unhoused, people with disabilities, and youth.
Did you say Utes?
Utes. What was that from?
My cousin Vinny.
That's it.
The two Utes. The what? You know, Your Honor. The Utes.
I'm going to back off of that one. So, I get it. We think that everybody is a victim. And I admit that some people are victimized. But I honestly don't think it is as bad as people make it out to be. And then the statements like this just make it seem like it's even worse than it is. But deindustrialized communities. Well, the people are poor there because their companies left. Their companies left because it costs too much to do business there. That's America.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
I sure hope not.
Yeah. Well, here's a perfect example of it. Just look at the Amazon deal in New York.
We're going to be looking at that in a minute.
There are going to be lots of jobs there, but nope. No, we can't give them that tax. I know they're going to put in 7-8 times that into the community, but nah, we can't do that. So here's the thing, okay? Because this really flips my bitch switch. All right. Now, normally I don't get too excited, but government has no place in business. It really doesn't. Okay.
No, it destroys it every time.
It destroys it every time. This shit needs to be handled at the local level. Okay. It doesn't need to be mandated on some bill that needs to be forced upon those that don't want to participate. Don't force your beliefs on other people. You can have your beliefs and respect your beliefs, and you can tell people how great your beliefs are. And if they want to go along on the ride with you, that's fantastic. And then it'll get better. Okay.
Well, here's their answer to that. So
Yeah.
labor unions. Strengthening and protecting the right of all workers to organize, unionize, and collectively bargain free of coercion, intimidation, and harassment.
Yeah. Cost of bread just went up.
Well, here's the problem with unions. At one point in our history, they were so important, it's ridiculous.
Oh, we needed them. But they turned into a business.
They are a business now.
Yes.
And what happens when companies unionize?
I'll give you a perfect example. And I don't want to mention the business, but it's automotive related. They did transmissions. And what happened was they wanted to, the union wanted something. The employer said, we can't do that, but we can do this. And if everybody just takes a little bit less, we can keep this plant open. So what these guys decided to do, because their union said, it's bullshit, they won't shut it down, don't do it. These guys lost $70,000 a year jobs.
I was just going to bring up this call. I was going to say it by name too.
Versus a minimal pay cut. Now you have 3 shifts of workers that are out of jobs and they're scrambling around taking entry-level jobs.
And they were making a shitload of money.
These guys were making 6-figure incomes.
Yep.
Okay.
And
now
this was over 10 years ago.
Yeah. And now I bet you they make 35% of what they earn.
Yeah.
So you tell me how that panned out. You tell me how that worked out for the American worker.
The economy is going down for that company.
Yeah.
The employees are going to have to take a hit because that's how it works.
Yeah.
They were getting overpaid for so long.
You know who did it? U.S. Air did it. U.S. Air came out and said to their people, hey, listen, we're in financial trouble here. All right, what a lot of people don't realize, and I'll have to fact check this to make sure I'm 100% correct, but for every penny jet fuel goes up and down is usually $1 million in operating cost per day.
Yeah, we talked about this on the program before.
Okay, so, at least they got with their workers and said, hey, listen, we can go into bankruptcy. We can fold up shop. Maybe we get bought out. Or They got with the flight attendants, they got with the pilots, they got with the mechanics, they got with all the employees and said, hey, listen, if company-wide we take a little bit less, we can adjust and we can get in front of the curve on this. And that's what they did.
Yeah. But
All
a
right.
lot of the problem is the baby boom generation began retiring.
Yeah.
And they were collecting pensions. Well, there weren't as many people coming in
Right.
as were going out.
Well, the baby boomer was making 70 grand a year. The next one coming in is making 30.
Right.
That had a lot to do with it.
And it's not paying their pensions.
Right.
So a lot of these people are losing their pensions, but the people running the union aren't losing a dime.
Oh, no. No,
And
they don't lose.
So, and another thing is when, like, you say you go to Teamsters and you're like, I'd like you to take over my company. Give me those little cards to pass out. I'll get enough signed and you can just come in.
Yeah.
Those companies go, oh, that's a great idea. We're just going to move to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. We're just going to move to Jersey.
Yeah, because they don't want to deal with the bullshit.
It costs them too much. It's actually cheaper to shut everything down.
Yeah.
Fire everybody.
Yeah.
And move to another state.
Absolutely.
Unions
are not what they used to be.
Yeah. They saved a lot of people way back when.
Yeah, they did a great job at one time.
And I'm sure there's some good ones out there now, or that mean well, but then there's the monsters.
Yeah, you can't negotiate yourself out of a job. And I've watched that happen. I personally know people that's happened to, and it's infuriating. It infuriates me. It really does.
Moving on, we got guaranteeing a job with family-sustaining wage, which I'm going to say it every fucking program if I have to. Not every job available should be able to
nor have they ever
sustain a Well, I forget her name, but she posted on Twitter yesterday that when I was a child, a minimum wage job supported a family of 3.
Bullshit.
It did not.
No, it didn't.
Your parents lied to you.
Yeah.
You
no,
know,
it didn't.
They didn't have a minimum wage job is what happened.
Right.
But the reason why McDonald's shouldn't support a family of 3 or 4 or anybody.
Well, they can. Your burger's going to be $15 or $18.
Exactly.
Listen, you got to make a choice. There's
but
choices.
What happens when the burger's $15?
Well, you know what? Nobody goes there, and then they're out of a job, and then your unemployment rate goes up.
Well, now your T-shirt. Well, no, people still go there, but your T-shirt at Walmart that costs $50 now.
Oh,
your $7 T-shirt at Walmart will cost $50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as you raise minimum wage, you just create more poor people.
Yeah.
My $15 an hour, which I don't make $15 an hour, but say I made $15 an hour, my $15 an hour job is now worth what your $7 an hour job used to be worth, because your $7 an hour job is now a $15 an hour job.
Right.
So I'm not getting a raise on top of your $7 an hour because you went up to 15. So I stay at 15. You're now up to 15. Now my $15 is still worth yours.
And all the people that are on Social Security, they're drawing Social Security. Anytime the cost of living goes up, they get a little bump too, because they have to be able to survive. So I could only imagine they can't fund Social Security now. How are they going to fund it when minimum wage is $15 or $20 an hour, and you have all these people on Social Security? You're going to have to pay them more.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Is anybody actually thinking about this, or is everybody just talking shit?
No, they have this idea of utopia.
Yeah. Okay.
And they don't. Obviously, Ocasio-Cortez, and I think somebody said that she had...
Utopia is for dead people, okay? When you go to heaven, that's utopia.
But not even there. It won't even work there, right?
Yeah, because you'll have minimum wage and unions.
Well, people are still going to be sad because their family members are in hell. But let's not even get into this, all right? The problem is these people who like socialism, they either, A, don't look at other socialist countries, and then you guys will throw out Denmark and stuff. They're not a socialist country. They have socialist programs, and with a population that small.
I was just going to say, you got to go to the population size there.
The population is so small that you can support that.
It's manageable.
You can't do it here. You also, economics just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. But Ocasio, that's what I was going to say. She's supposed to have this background in economics, and she just doesn't seem to get economics. Like, how did she graduate from college? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
So one more thing before we move on to the redacted fact document. That's what I got in my notes. Providing all people in the United States with high-quality health care. isn't that Obamacare? Wasn't that what we just went through with the bullshit with Obamacare? So why are we still worried about this if Obamacare was supposed to be the save all?
Well, when you think about it, the quality of care wasn't that good because you couldn't use your own doctor. The rates were through the roof, and and if you didn't participate, if you didn't play their game, you paid a fine.
Well, all I know is my health care is way worse than it was before Obamacare.
I was going to say my health care is probably the worst it's ever been since I've had to purchase, and it's probably the most expensive it's ever been. So I pay more for health care, and I get even worse benefits.
Yeah, and I get
and I have the best of what's out there. That's the scary
It's because
part.
the money that we put into our health care, that used to just guarantee, you only pay your $10 copay, and then that's it. Because that's the way it used to be for me. Now that money I'm putting in has to cover all these other people that aren't paying for it.
Well, they were regulated too. There was some regulation there. And let's face it, now insurance is a business. Health insurance is like life insurance. They're going to charge you a lot of money to put you on it. Life insurance, they hope you don't die while you're on it. And health insurance, they hope you're not sick while you're on it. But they're going to charge you just in case.
Or you die by a way that's against your policy.
Right.
That's what they're banking on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can we prove that this was a suicide?
Yeah.
No, it was cancer. Are you sure you didn't give himself cancer?
Yeah, yeah. Because there's a pill. I heard there's a pill
There's
somewhere.
a pill you could take to make it look like cancer.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Everybody's heard about this fact document. All right. And what this was a document that they put together their ideas, Ocasio and her advisors and all the people that were doing the new Green Deal. They put together all these different documents, and it was just like their brainstorming sessions. Well, after the new Green Deal was released, this document was one of the ones that was released with it. And then it got some backlash, and it was redacted. Or not redacted, but removed from the internet. So the problem is they say, it wasn't supposed to be released. I, being the semi-right guy that I am, believe that they meant it to be released.
And then when it wasn't so popular, like, that wasn't supposed to be.
That was an accident.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is some people didn't even realize, including a top advisor. I shouldn't say top because I don't know if he's a top, but an advisor for Andrea Ocasio-Cortez. We're just going to start calling her AOC because her name's so damn long. His name is Robert Hackett. He's a professor. He did an interview with Tucker Carlson where he says this.
I think that was actually in the document. I read it as it came out.
Well, it's the wrong document, Tucker.
Well, it's definitely the wrong.
Yeah, that's not us. No, we certainly don't believe
what you're saying is
that, right?
We're not.
No, that's not us. Are you serious?
Wow.
So I really feel bad for this guy because you could see it in his face. He had no clue. I don't think he even knew what Tucker was talking about at that time. So good job, Tucker, for getting something on him.
Yeah.
It made a good episode, but I mean, it was kind of dirty.
Did I say it? Really? That no.
See, I don't even think he was in there that.
He probably genuinely didn't have.
Right, had no clue.
So, and they curveballed him with it.
Let's talk about two things that this fact says. All right, and it says, quote, "We aren't sure that we'll be able to fully get rid of farting cows in airplanes." Now, there is some suggestions that this was doctored.
Yeah.
That line.
Yeah.
But the second line was definitely in there. Economic security for all who are unable or unwilling to work.
Oh, I'm both. So somebody send me a check, please.
See, so I found this humorous, and even if the farting cows thing, because I said the farting cows earlier.
Yeah, you did.
Even if the farting cows thing was in there, I have no problem because I get it. It's their round table discussion.
Right.
But this just goes to show how they're thinking and what they want, what their end game is.
Just get rid of cows.
So, well, I'm not even worried about the cows because I agree. If the farting cows are creating a problem, we need to deal with the farting cows. My only problem with either of these two sentences is one word. Rick, what is the one word that I am not happy with right now?
I like hamburgers.
Unwilling.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Unwilling to work. You want economic security for unwilling to work? Fuck you. Fuck them. If you're unwilling to work, you're unwilling to live. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, you're broke.
Now, we're going to take this and say, oh, Ben just said we should kill all these people who are unwilling to work. No, I'm saying play with the hand you dealt yourself, because it's not somebody dealt that hand to you. You decided you didn't want to work.
And choices have consequences.
You're like, hey, I got the deck of cards here. I could take all these aces, or I could take 2, 7, 9, king, unsuited. I mean,
and I'm going to gamble everything on it.
And I'm gonna claim the pot at the end.
Yeah, you know? Listen. Nowhere should somebody be able to make a conscious choice that they don't want to work and they don't want to participate, and somebody else is going to support their ass. That's like having
the truth.
Yeah, that's like having a bad teenager in the house that you can't get motivated. So why do we encourage and support such behavior? I can't wrap my mind around.
It's ridiculous. But that's the thing, and they're.
I'm not paying for somebody else's kid because they're lazy and don't want to work. They want to sit around, get high, play Xbox all day. Listen, I want to play Xbox.
You're making a lot of assumptions here, Rick. We don't make assumptions anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know what? There's going to be a lot of ass-hurt people on the left because that's the way it is. I'm not supporting a bunch of bums. All right. I already paid too much in taxes.
Did you just say bums?
Yeah. You know what? I'd almost rather find a bum on the street and help that person, because chances are an older bum is there because something bad happened and they can't get squirreled around. It's not a conscious choice. For some, it's a mental health issue.
They're all banking on these liberal policies. They love them.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, Central Park, they're going to be putting up condos. It'll be free to stay there. They'll have marble floors and bidets and...
Bidets. Oh.
Yeah. Just think of the free car service. Listen, you'll be able to go to fine dining, get the best meal you could ever get, and not have to pay for it.
I just tried to picture a brown box bidet.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I used to deliver a 7-Eleven in New York City in Manhattan, and I'd open the door and there'd be like a tarp next to the door, and I knew what was going to happen, but I'd take my handcart, and everybody's going to think I'm an asshole. I'd take my handcart and I'd like run over a little bit of the tarp, and you'd hear, "Hey, I'm sleeping here."
Oh, come on.
Why do you let these, and they started playing like, they'd put speakers up in there, just playing annoying music on the street just to
oh wow,
discourage the bums. But it was just warmer by the door.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I have no sympathy. I'm bad.
Listen,
well, let's move on to more stuff from New York.
I want to go on the record. I don't have problems with helping people that legitimately cannot help
I
themselves. Agree. Okay, but if you are a healthy, bodied person
that chose.
Get your ass out there and get a job. Everybody should
name one other time in history that you didn't have to work.
When you were a caveman. Oh no,
you had to get the food.
You had to get the food.
You had to drag the women out into the cave to have the babies. That's energy.
Jesus. I mean, come on, man. Seriously, what color is the fucking sky in their world where they just think we can pass laws where people don't have to work and they're going to get free handout? Listen, I want a free phone. I want a free house to live in. I want to go to a 5-star restaurant, eat a ridiculously expensive meal, and not have to pay for it. It's not logical. It's not rational.
It makes no sense.
So I mean, really, who gets behind this program? Does somebody sit around and say to themselves,
the people that will vote for her, that's who gets behind it?
Okay, all 8 of them? I mean, how
millions.
many people are like this?
You just said it right there, Rick. You just said it right there. You want the free phone. You don't want to work. You don't.
Yeah, but it's not realistic, Ben.
But
that's why I work my ass off every day.
She makes people believe that it's realistic.
Oh, you know what?
And that's why they get the votes.
Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory was a pretty incredible place, but that's not real either.
I know, but that's honest. That's honestly why I think that they do this stuff. Or it's the mentality of the younger generation that's been fed to them by people who are trying to get votes from people like this.
I'm going to blame SpongeBob.
I almost did some SpongeBob quotes. All right, so let's move on to Amazon. So,
oh man, did they screw the pooch on this one?
Amazon, all these states had to beg Amazon to go there, and then Amazon was like, "Yeah, we'll take Long Island City and New York."
So I'm not paying Amazon $3 billion to come here.
Nobody said that anybody was paying.
Oh
Amazon.
no! Some politician said we're paying him $3 billion to get him to come here.
No, Ocasio, that's your bad economics understanding again.
Wait, it wasn't even in her district. It was a district next to hers. Why is she chirping about it?
I don't even know if she's definitely not the only one that's made comments
Why
about
are
this.
any of them chirping about it? What's the politician that was elected in that district say?
Well, I have a quote from her, but all right, I'll play the quote.
There was no subsidy. It was a tax rebate from the money that they had paid into the coffers of New York City. Hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars over a 10-year period. So they pledged 25,000 high-paying jobs of over $150,000. So they would not get any type of refund or tax credit unless they created that job.
Paint me slippery. I can't imagine why they would want Amazon there. I mean, come on, man. You know, if this isn't cutting your nose off to spite your face, hey, you know, I got a great idea. Let's invite Amazon back. We'll have them pay us to be here, and then they can hire, let's throw a number, let's say 75,000 people. We're going to pay them all $100,000 a year, and they don't even have to go to work. They can be on that free program that they're trying to put up.
Well,
they can just have a job, get a check.
The thing is they weren't even getting the reduction, which is it wasn't money handed to them. They were just going to get a reduction in taxes
Over time.
Unless they did unless they did what they promised. Now they promised 25,000 new jobs.
That's a lot of jobs.
And
man.
if we're listening to Maloney, she's saying that over $100,000.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe that.
Okay, let's say it's half that.
Still half that.
25,000 jobs at 50 plus grand a year.
Right.
Who's saying no to that?
So Ocasio on Twitter. So everybody's blaming Ocasio. And it's not just her. It was other representatives.
Yeah, there's more than one.
This is what she said. She said, yeah, I'm laughing at this. Amazon was not coming to my congressional district, had no concentrated outreach to us that I'm aware of. Yet with no effort, I defeated the richest man in the world, ?
Defeated him. All she did was ruin 25,000
lives.
lives.
What she's saying is that she's not the one who ran him out of the town. She said it doesn't add up. Story that's not being told. The local community organized to reject it. Why would Queens run Amazon out? Why would Queens not want 25,000 more jobs?
I can't imagine why they would want to run them out. What am I missing?
This wasn't Queens, but it was Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But my manager at 7-Eleven, every week he's like, I just can't find another fucking job. I hate this fucking place. And I luckily, like, there's so many in Brooklyn, they'll never know.
Yeah, he just lost his job.
Yeah, but every week he's like, I hate this fucking job. So there's people that want jobs there. So nobody's running them out of town. But then 1 hour later, after saying she had nothing to do with this, she said, Amazon touting jobs. Has anyone fact-checked where this 25,000 number came from? How many were promised to be local hires? What the fuck? Who the fuck is going to ship in migrant workers to work in Queens?
That's really what the caravan is, Ben. They're coming up here to work for Amazon. Now they only got to go to Virginia.
Amazon is going there to employ your fucking people. I get it. It's not your people. So are you upset that it wasn't your district and you just tried to run them out of Maloney's district? Because then that's some vindictive shit.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options. You ran them out without understanding why you run them out.
They ran them out without understanding why.
Or you ran them out because they weren't going to your district and helping your people.
Yeah.
Either way, stupidity.
Right. Yeah, that was just the dumbest thing. And I even think
polls show that 70% of New Yorkers supported the plans and investment. A number of state and local politicians opposed it. That was the problem. It was the politicians that opposed it. The people, and that percentage comes from Business Insider. We're not headlining heroes again. I didn't just pull this one out of my ass. I mean, I've worked in Long Island City. It could use some fucking work.
Well, you know, they had their opportunities.
Not the city. The people could use some work.
Yeah, no. And you know what? The people down there that are pissed off about this, they need to make a point when they vote. They need to remember this when it comes time to vote.
Well, when you're remembering this, New York City Council Speaker Corey Johnson was one of the most outspoken opponents of the deal, according to Business Insider. And he even seemed enthused that Amazon was not taking the town. So Corey Johnson's who you want to get out. The only one, like you heard in the quote, that's looking for you is Maloney.
Yeah.
So keep her.
Yeah.
Ditch Corey.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Here's a good quote I like. Maloney said, my constituents want jobs. And then she went on to talk about job opportunities that would have been available to New Yorkers. But here's what's going on. It used to be that we would protest wars. Now we're protesting jobs.
It's crazy.
Our politicians aren't here for the public at large. They're here to look like they care. It's about infamy. It's not about actually helping. They just want to look like they're doing the best for you, but they're not. People like Carolyn Maloney are thinking about her people.
Yeah.
Trying to get them jobs. She understands the fact.
That could hang around for generations.
Let's just do some basic math. All right. Say we were handing Amazon $3 billion. They were suggesting through figures and whatever that they would be making $27.5 billion over time for the state in tax revenue.
Right.
So we hand them $3 billion to come here, even though that's not what's happening. But say it is.
Right.
What's the math on that?
Well, let's put it this way. Let's simplify it, though. If I give you $300 and you give me $2,500 back.
No, you're making it too small. Leave it the big number.
All right.
$27.5 billion.
Yeah.
You're upset that I'm going to hand them $3 billion. So you just lost New York $24.5 billion.
Yeah. There's no reason for this. It's all stupidity.
It's absolutely
posturing.
Fucking asinine.
Oh, yeah, you defeated the richest man in America. Yeah, you screwed a lot of people out of some good paying jobs for generations to come.
But here's why it's kind of a positive thing this week for certain people. What just came out about Amazon this week? That they paid...
Oh, they've paid no federal tax.
They paid no federal tax, so people are pissed at Amazon.
Well, listen, Amazon's a very large company. They're not a perfect company. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to say how great they are and I'm not going to stick up for them. But it doesn't change the fact that there was going to be 25,000 jobs in this lady's district available. And yes, some of them might have lived in Cortez's district and drove in because, that's what people do.
They do not.
Yeah.
They take the subway or the bus.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because we want to keep it green. But
no, it's fucking New York. You take the subway.
Yeah.
It would cost your wage to park your car in a garage every day. It's so expensive.
But, I mean, I know this, and and I'm not always bragging about our governor, okay? But I do know this. The man's also trying to get as much business to come to New York as he possibly can. And here was a perfect opportunity for it.
Everybody's leaving. He was just admitted.
Well, it's Florida's fault. It's Florida's fault.
Yep.
Yeah, they got sunshine. You can't get solar there, but you sure as hell can get some sunshine.
It's funny. It started out. It was Florida's fault because everybody's going for the sunshine. Then it was the president's fault that everybody moved out because of the taxes or whatever.
Yeah.
And he finally admitted this week, you know what? We are just not economically comparable to other states, and we're not. We pay way too much.
No, we're not. Our property taxes are through the fucking roof.
I hate to back them up on some things, but there's not really many other states that cost this much.
Well, it's New York City that costs this much.
Well, Syracuse costs a lot in the winter.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Ben? If our area only paid for our area, our property taxes would be a little less.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother, because I don't have any numbers in front of me, but I did look up the tax. Yeah. It's confusing.
I'm going to go on the record and say I'm right, Ben's wrong. That's all that matters. I have no facts to back it up.
After the beginning of the episode, I'm just going to have to agree.
Yeah.
So the tax thing with Amazon, it's not the first time that they've done this. Last year
first off, the federal tax has nothing to do with the state tax.
No, but people are just seeing that they're paying no federal tax, and that's what people are getting upset about. So it doesn't matter that it's affecting our state.
Chances are our president pay no federal tax, but we'll never allegedly.
Chances are that a lot of the people that are upset with Amazon for paying no federal tax
don't pay any federal tax.
Pay no federal tax, and that's what people don't understand. So you go to the tax people, and they go through your list of taxes, and you paid $6,000 in taxes this year, and you get $7,000 back.
Yeah, how the hell does that even make sense?
Well, so now not only did you not pay any taxes, but you just got an extra rebate.
Yeah.
by using the loopholes. That's what they are, is loopholes.
Yeah.
And I get that you're getting your refund because you overpaid. Well, then claim what you deserve and then invest that extra savings. But people can't do that. They use the taxes as a savings account. But that's all Amazon did, is they took the excess stock-based compensation deductions. They got a boost from the 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Acts. I mean, one of the things that I'm a little fuzzy on is these stock-based compensation deductions. What they are is a company may issue its own stock to its employees for compensation. So my question is, what if a company gives millions of dollars in stock to only its top employees, meaning highest paid employees? So it seems like they're giving the lowest paid employees stock options, but they're only giving them to the upper.
Right.
Do they still get to claim them? That's a loophole that I think would need to be closed on. And that's the other thing. There needs to be like a breakdown for things. Like, yes, you get a deduction for this, but if you do this bullshit, you don't get the deduction for that.
Right.
But that would just take too many people to do. So that's how they get away with it.
They just need to simplify the taxes.
Exactly. You pay this if you make this, or if you earn this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I wrote in my notes is we want to hate Amazon for being big and getting away with all this BS, but it's tax loopholes that Amazon benefits from. These loopholes are created at the state and federal level by Republicans and Democrats alike, most of the time in hopes of positive results. You know, I mean, sometimes they even hope that these companies are going to save money and it's going to trickle down on the employees. We all know that doesn't work.
Yeah, trickle down economics.
But you can't be raging at Amazon for taking advantage of loopholes. Fix the tax code.
Yeah.
And your representatives, the people that are bitching about $3 billion that Amazon would have ended up paying us $24 billion afterwards.
Yeah.
They're the ones to fix this.
Yeah. If anybody said to me, listen, you give me $3 billion, I'm going to give you 24.5 back. I'm going to give them the $3 billion and just tell them, look, you can't cash this check till you give me the 24.5. Let's get clear on that, because that's a check that's never going to cash.
So you brought him up earlier, Jussie Smollet from Empire.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So he was in the news saying that he was attacked by MAGA hat wearing people.
I would really love to know what the actual truth is here.
Well, it's coming out. He told authorities he was attacked in late January by two men who were yelling racial and homophobic slurs, but two law enforcement officers told CNN on Saturday that Chicago police believe Smollett paid two men to orchestrate the assault on him. And through other articles, you find out one of the guys
was on the show with him.
No,
the other one's his brother.
Was his personal trainer,
yeah.
And the other one was his brother. Now, things were fishy with the police right off the bat. So Smollett brings him out there. He had this like weird concocted thing that happened to him. He was just getting a tuna fish sandwich or whatever. And then he was able to point out like some random obscure camera. He's like, look, they got me on that. And it just happened that the camera was facing the wrong way.
Oh,
but how did he know the camera was there? So
know.
there's all these questions. But because people like to rage, and people actually hope that this is true, because we're in a society now where people hate Trump for whatever reason, and they want more reason to hate him. They don't want to try to come together. They want more reason to hate him. So they hear things like this and they come out and they say shit. So like Senator Cory Booker, this Sunday, he declined to comment directly on reports that Smollett
paid a couple guys
because he had come out talking about how horrendous this is.
He talked mad shit.
Yeah, and he was talking about,
and if it's real, or if something like this really happened, yes, it is horrific. Make no mistake.
But it just doesn't make sense to me. Like we accuse.
You know what I hope for this young man? But
all right, so here's my problem. So Booker, he came out immediately and was like, "This is awful." He was talking about how terrorism is now an American thing. Since 2001, September 11th, 2001, it has been known that terrorism is a moderately Republican issue on home soil, meaning like these school shooters and all these things are Republicans. Well, these school shooters are kids. They're nothing.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're people, but they're not either side.
Yeah, when you say nothing, you don't mean they're not politically.
The Boston
affiliated.
bombers.
Yeah.
They were. I mean, the guy who left the bombs in they weren't
Yeah.
Republicans. So stop it.
Yeah, you can't.
But he's
running for president.
But he was willing to come out immediately and bash them and bash the Republicans and use this to bash.
He's running for president, so he's got to get out there fast.
But when you find out that it's most likely a hoax, you got nothing to say. And then you got people like Ellen Page, who went on Colbert Report and said this about the media.
We have a media that's saying it's a debate whether or not what just happened to Jussie Smollet is a hate crime. It's absurd. The isn't a debate.
So we spend this whole podcast talking about how we hate how the media just comes out and like doesn't do their research and like just jumps on shit. And she's saying that it's not even a debate. Well, obviously it is a fucking debate because it's most likely false.
Yeah.
But why aren't you on social media right now saying that, oh, well, the thing is that they want to prove hate and they can't prove hate.
Yeah.
They feel, because she's a lesbian and she's married to a woman, and she, at the end of this Colbert thing, she points out how Mike Pence, who doesn't even want her to be married, you're just using this for some stupid agenda. Are you fucking married?
Who gives a shit?
But
what
is
Mike
she
Pence
fucking
thinks?
married?
All right.
She's fucking married. So who fucking cares? You just want to be mad to be fucking mad. Like, you're bitching about, I get it. He's a religious right. He doesn't believe in gay people.
Yeah.
But you're fucking married. You're winning your race.
Yeah.
And you're just fucking tripping yourself on the way.
You almost sounded like Charlie Sheen there. Winning.
Don't Charlie Sheen me. I ain't fucking Charlie Sheen. We got one more. Let's talk about this one. So Daily Beast had a quick one. We've been bitching all podcast. Let's end on something nice.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I know where you're going.
So these parents, they accidentally locked their kid in the car. It happens.
Throw him in jail.
Don't get mad at them. It happens. But, and I used to work for a tow company way back when I was a kid, and it is expensive to have somebody just pop a lock.
Yeah.
And how long do you think it takes me to unlock a car?
Minute and a half.
Not even.
I
can get into most cars in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And to pay me $80 to do something that takes 30 seconds. So her husband was going to break the window, and these people came running over. No. We got some guys that I think can take care of this.
Professionals.
So several minutes later, the father and several inmates from the Pasco County Sheriff's, I think their cell, their local courthouse.
Yeah.
From Pasco County local courthouse. They come out with some inmates. The inmates pried the door open slightly, and another inmate used a coat hanger and pressed the electric lock. And yes, that is how I open 90% of my cars.
Yeah.
It's just
Yep.
So, you know what? They may be going to jail, but at least their profession is useful in something. Saved a baby.
Well, yeah, maybe they come out and, maybe they get a job as a locksmith.
they already know they don't have to be trained.
Yeah.
Well, that's our show for this week. I'm your host, Ben.
I'm Rick.
Follow along on purplepoliticspodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a message over on Twitter at Rick and Ben. We're always answering. We're always ready to comment. Rate, subscribe, and review. We'll talk to you again next week. I just think I said week.